The market slowdown is here. Players are starting to react in unusual ways, and yeah, your LGS is still in trouble. For many people, starting out the new year is always a difficult task. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world of Magic. And yeah, I know the start of a new year is always difficult. You've got people who've spent money on the holidays, on family, right? You got kids, you got stuff you had to buy, as well as your regular bills, and your credit cards are looking pretty high right now. You're like, I went a little bit overboard, a little extra expense. But that comes out in the market in a lot of different ways. And not just Magic the Gathering, but in general, anywhere from January through to February, right up until around Valentine's Day, is where people are paying off credit cards. Money's really tight. And that is a very difficult time for a lot of businesses. In this case, your LGS. Because a lot of players right now will not be buying as much product as they've bought in the past. We already know that Dominaria Remastered had tons of canceled pre-orders. Phyrexia All Will Be One has some positive and negative aspects from players looking at it in different angles, but how much players are going to spend on sealed product, I expect to be low for a while. There's a lot of resentment out there still. But when it comes to singles and the singles market, the sales this week are lower than I expected. And I've got to attribute that to this whole holidays blues thing, paying off credit cards and getting things out of the way. I think is how I'm going to chalk this one up. I'm not an expert in the area. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I'm looking at. For myself, I know I did actually buy a few singles this week. I picked up a few reserve list cards because the prices were so cheap I couldn't really pass up on them. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Make sure you can check out that content. But these are those times where I always say to people, never hurt family and friends. You always should be saving for the rainy day, putting money aside for the bigger, more important things in life. It's a card game, it's great, but you got to put money aside. You got to financially plan for things, and that's not easy for a lot of people. There's a lot of the environment around us always telling us to spend. And having the restraint to hold back and not spend money sometimes and not listen to other people can be difficult. Guys, it's never going to be perfect out there. Do the best you can. You're only human after all, and you're just trying to get through each day while still having some enjoyment with the cards you love. But when we look at the sales this week, when I show you the cards counting down number 10 to number 1, the hottest selling cards I could track for Magic the Gathering, you'll notice actually kind of a pattern forming. And there's a few unusual cards that shouldn't even be on the list, but they're here. Because some of these players out there who do have stable means have started to notice certain patterns, and we're going to talk about that as we go through the list. I'm going to comment on some of these cards to let you know what I think is happening in the background there. Give you my nurturing opinion about some of these amazing cards. All right, guys? So let's get the party started. Thanks for hanging out. Can't wait to see those comments in the comments section. Let's roll them. So here we have our first card from our Hot 10. Modern Horizons 2's Damn. 390 sales with a market price of $2.91. I remember this card being like $18 for a while before it really came down in price, and this card is super useful. I have it in my Throwbold Commander deck. You see there, it's got 2 black, destroy target creature. That creature can't be regenerated, right? Awesome. But look at the Overload, an amazing card to have around, okay? I don't use it for that ability, but in a multicolored deck, this card is just epic, okay? And look at the price now. Look how affordable cards like this have become. Now, number 9, Flooded Strand, Khans of Tarkir. 403 sales. Market price is $30, okay? This card, I couldn't even believe when I saw the amount of sales that this brings it into the Hot 10. A Khans card is now in my Hot 10. I don't know what to tell you guys. It should be Brothers War, Dominaria United, but no, it's not. It is a Khans of Tarkir card from like 7 years ago. This is kind of weird stuff going on, guys. Stick around. It gets weirder. Number 8 is Arid Mesa Modern Horizons 2. Not the Khans one. This is Modern Horizons 2. 526 sales. We have a market price of $12.70 US. And look at that bottoming. It's kind of leveling out now. But if you look at this, look at the amount of sales and where the card's gone in the last little while, and you kind of get an idea in the last 7 months what's been going on. Ever since Modern Horizons 2 printed so many fetch lands into the market, the price has yet to recover, and I wonder how that will how that will affect Wizards of the Coast plans when they need value cards like this to be put into sets. How long will they wait to reprint a card like Arid Mesa? Are we going to be waiting years yet for it to come around, for the market to absorb these styles of cards? I don't know. Let's keep going. I got more in mind here. Number 7 is Soul Ring. Commander Adventures in Forgotten Realms version. 890 sales. January 1st to the 7th of 2023. Here's an interesting thing. The market price is $143. But the reason this came to my attention, the reason I looked at this particular card, was because I know someone who emailed me and said they bought 120 copies. He just said I wanted to own a whole bunch of copies so I never have to worry about it again. And he got a discount on the shipping, and he actually paid less than that market price. But I'm just curious, like $120 for 120 copies. Why do you need so many? I don't know. But that was one person. And you start looking at the sales, and there was a whole bunch of people buying 4 copies. Some people buying 5, called the Commander set. Very interesting stuff, guys. These are not the cards I expect to see selling right now in the Hot 10, but this is where we are in this crazy new 2023 we're living in. People are doing some very unusual things. And number 6 is the Arcane Signet, and it's the version from Throne of Eldraine. 1,103 sales. Market price is $1.22, but you can find these things on TCG Player for like 50 cents, guys. You just got to take a peek and you'll see. And of course, anyone here shopping today, if you're going to go out there and use TCG Player, please remember to click on my affiliate link found in the description of all my videos. It does help the channel because I get a kickback where I get to buy some cards too for everything you've bought. I get a little 3.5% kickback. I appreciate those who take the time to do it. It's free. Thanks again, guys. Just click my link. It takes you right to TCG Player. But when we see this stuff, when you see Arcane Signet, which of course it's an amazing card. It's a staple. But the idea that this is the card that jumps into the Hot 10 this week, all the way down to number 6, like you'll see. Hold on. Number 5, the Mightstone Weakstone. Okay, we're now back into the Brothers War. I get this one. 1,503 sales. Market price is $5.92. Totally tanked and bottomed out. Although I am using this in literally every single deck I have built in Arena right now. This card is in there. I love the thing of giving -5/-5. I like the thing of drawing cards, and I like the ways of copying it and unsummoning it and bringing it back to the battlefield. The recursion event with this card giving you multiple effects is very nice. And I mean, it also, of course, is used with Urza, but I like the idea of this card. I really do. I'm enjoying it. It's not the best use of my mana, but it's generic mana, which I like. Now, number 4, and that is the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. 1,600 sales, okay? When you look at this and see the market price is $3.40, a generic double strike creature, which, of course, can come back with Unearth, it is a nice card to have around. Very inexpensive, great for players to play around with. I can see why people have been driven to buy this card. Also, because it's Brothers War and all the artifacts, a lot of players like to use it with Mishra claimed by Phyrexia thing, right? I like it. It's decent. Number 3. We're here at number 3 already. Can you believe this? Check this out, guys. Number 3, Portal to Phyrexia is continuing strong sales. A lot of local places are still sold out of this card. You can't find it. Market price is $21.33 US. It's totally trending sideways, okay? Here in Canada, it's like $35. I can't find any locally for sale. I'm just waiting. I'm sure one will eventually turn up. I didn't crack any in any packs or anything. And of course, €19.02 to get this card into your house. So in a week-long sales, 1,708. That is a lot for a card like this because it's not exactly cheap. Okay, it does have a price attached. It's not a $2 card. But very interesting to see some of these Brothers War cards are still hanging in there. But so many other cards have penetrated the Hot 10 this week that you got to mention it. Now, number 2. And again, this is the retro frame version that everyone is buying. 1,728 sales. Market price, 50 cents. The thing's bottomed out to nothing. But it had so many sales last week that it had an uptick. Look at that little curve at the very end. That's a little bump from the sheer volume of sales, and it's just as strong this week. So expect this stuff to kind of go crazy. Now, what I find funny is a lot of people right now who are watching my video are probably thinking at this point, it's going to be the Haywire Might at number 1, but it's not. Haywire Might didn't even make the list. And I know it had strong sales, but it only had a couple hundred sales. It didn't even make the cut this week. If you really want to know, like, how things go, it can change from week to week as player preferences change. I just haven't seen so many radically different cards enter the mix in a long time. Other than we had some of those D&D dragons show up, the ancient dragons show up randomly last month. Kind of crazy. So here we go, guys. Your number one card. The number one show-stopping card that's selling, and that is Urza, the Lord Protector. 1,800 sales even. Now, it may have been a little bit higher. I stopped counting, I'll be honest. When I got to like 1,803, I just said, okay, you know what? I'll mark it at 1,800. So I may be off by like 10 or 12 sales. It was late when I was counting, guys. But 1,800 sales. The price on this, the market, $25.59 US. It's around 40 bucks here in Canada. He really has kind of leveled off. He's not really dropping. He's had a few months now at this price. Think about this. This card being a 3 casting cost that lowers the sorcery and instant artifact spells is very nice. Lower it by 1. But it's also a 2/4 for 3. Has some blocking power. Can't be bolted. This is one of those cards that people find very annoying in a lot of the formats they're playing. But that's not what we're here to talk about. All right, you made it. You made it to the end. What I find most interesting about most of these cards is it's not people playing standard buying these. These are all commander cards. It's commander. When I check a whole bunch of stores, commander sales are up. Singles in commander are up. Call another store. Singles in commander are up. Individual cards, all commander playable cards. Staples for commander are what are selling. Nobody is buying Pioneer. Nobody's buying Standard. There are some players playing Pauper, by the way. Pauper sales were okay for a whole bunch of certain cards. But these ones here are insane to think about right now. They're all commander staples. I don't know what Wizards has done, but players are just going for the one-ofs. They're buying them and calling it a day. Way to go, Wizards. You're killing off all your own formats. The market are down, the sales are down, but the cards that are selling are all for commander. Thanks again for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me on the channel. Can't wait to see the comments in the comments section. I love reading them. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do. Helps the channel grow bigger. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day today. All right, my amazing patrons. I didn't forget about you. You guys are awesome. And don't forget, Sunday, we have our live stream, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to be there, guys. I can't wait to see you all again. Have an awesome day. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Commander. All commander. You're here at the end. Welcome back. It was really interesting to have those. I had like a couple of, not meetings, conversations with a few of the stores. And, excuse me, guys. Frog in the throat. But I found it very interesting to see how many mentioned commander staples selling, even at the local level, right? A whole bunch of stores, you know, they're trying to have F&Ms, they're trying to do other things, drafting, but it looks like commander is starting to really take over some of these areas. So I'd love to know what will happen in the next year when Wizards really can't get ahead putting out standard boxes other than individual cards that might be used for commander. I guess they still derive value from it, but it's interesting on the long term if Wizards are going to try to fix this. They can't just have one format dominating everything. They've got to support other formats to bridge things out, to broaden the pool of cards. Crazy to think about. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. I got cleaning. I'm sure you have cleaning. You know you do. Clean up. Help out. Be useful. Can't help myself sometimes. Guys, have an awesome day. Rock it out. Eat some pizza, because I know I can't, but I plan to anyway.